straight up horrible.
That is correct, Kayla. So, The Rise of Skywalker, it recently came out. Sorry this video is a bit late. We didn't really get to watching it.
We finally watched it today.
Number one, those reviews, they looked the way they were.
Wait, what did?
The Rotten Tomato reviews.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, they were pretty, I would say the Rotten Tomato, status was pretty correct.
It was pretty correct.
Yeah.
Area. So, first we're gonna do a non-spoiler review.
And then we're gonna do a big spoiler review. Yay!
So, let me go through the mindset, like, as I was watching.
Yeah.
Or before I watched it. So I really wanted to like this movie.
Yeah, I felt like it was gonna be like 100% better than it actually was. I thought it was gonna be like, I did think the movie was decent, but like I thought I was gonna think it was more like, oh, like this is a pretty good movie, like, you know.
Let me state the good things. So the things I liked were the practical, so the sets and the design of the movie. And the way it looked amazing.
Of course it did. Well, yeah, because it's Star Wars, like, you can't mess up that.
Yeah, so the whole filters, everything, it looked amazing, okay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That looked great. What I also liked is Lando Calrissian, I liked him.
Yeah.
That's about it, yeah, that's probably it. And for me, because so let me think of the thoughts going through my head while watching the movie. So while watching the movie, I was thinking, this is incredibly boring.
Yeah, I feel like usually when like movies like that start, it's usually something not too much, I guess.
Well, like, okay, let me say, it was boring, it was confusing. It was.
Oh yeah.
It was stupid.
I wouldn't say it was straight up stupid. It's just the fact of how confusing it made people think. Like
it was unintelligible. The decisions were not smart.
Like things would happen, and you'd be like, "What?" Like I thought that was gonna happen, and it would have made more sense if that happened, and like stuff like that. So like.
Yeah. So it's in the trailers, so this isn't a spoiler. But Emperor Palpatine comes back. And
how is he back? What? It's a clone? Huh?
Well, no, he wasn't even a clone. It made no sense.
Well, yeah, exactly. They said in the movie,
like in the beginning, they were like, "Oh,
it's a clone. It's a clone."
But then, like when you see him, he's obviously like a skeleton.
Well, he's not. No, he wasn't a skeleton. He was just like his fingers were like just dying, and like everything was just not the way it was.
Well, no, one of the things that I really didn't like about Palpatine being back is, remember the original trilogy, the original saga.
Yes.
You see Darth Vader as this corrupt person, and Luke Skywalker changes him, and it's when Luke Skywalker is getting shocked by Emperor Palpatine, and you see Darth Vader, he redeems himself and throws him down the air, like the I don't know what it was, but it was like a long tube, and he falls to his death. And I remember watching that and being like, wow, Darth Vader, like this completes the arc, his character arc of Darth Vader. But having him back just ruins everything.
No, that's the confusing part. It's like, okay, he's back.
Like how's he back?
I think I don't understand why they brought him back without like some excuse or something, but I think one main reason they brought him back was obviously Rey.
Yeah. So
but
let's not
they
get into spoilers
explain
because
anything. So
let's not get into spoilers because you know all that stuff. So like I was saying, there's like parts in the movie where they do stuff and they could have done something different.
Yeah.
And it's the whole movie you're thinking about this. I was so bored. Me and Kylo were sitting next to each other.
We kept on laughing, actually.
Well, yeah, because there's these parts and they'd be so stupid. Like, it'd be like a character dies and we are laughing because the scene is so incredible.
Well, I mean, stupid.
What's another thing? It was boring. Like, all the fight scenes are just boring.
I mean,
there was like one
yeah.
near the end where like they're fighting on a Star Destroyer, and it's a cool sequence, but all the lightsaber fights are just incredibly boring.
Yeah.
I remember telling it to Kayla, I was saying, this movie is so boring.
And I was like, I kind of looked at Evan and I was like, yeah, I mean, kind of. I didn't really want to think badly of the movie, just, I don't know, because it's a Star Wars movie, but like...
But you can see it in the end.
Yeah.
It's like decisions where Kayla, I think you said that they were just trying to get a movie out there, like, let's just...
Oh, yeah. I was saying, like, oh, they probably just put this out because they didn't know what to do, so they just... let's just make a little something and it'll make absolutely no sense, so...
Well, the problem was that, if you know,
yeah.
What happened was they swapped directors. They had, for The Force Awakens, they had J.J. Abrams, and I like The Force Awakens. I think that's a good movie. Maybe there's some problems, but all in all, I think it's a good movie. Then we get into The Last Jedi, and see, J.J. Abrams wrote The Last Jedi, and then handed it to Rian Johnson. He was like, here. Mm-hmm. And then Rian Johnson just messed it up completely.
Wait, but didn't J.J. Abrams have to do something with this movie?
Yeah, he was the director for this movie, and he couldn't fix it. He couldn't fix the problem. And for the whole movie, you think, why is Rey... Also, this is another thing. Rey, you never, you end up kind of knowing why she has powers.
But you never, actually know.
Yeah, she just can do things. And it's like...
Well, I was thinking during the movie, so, that, I was kind of confused on that part because, I wasn't confused, I was just thinking, I kind of told Evan, I was like, oh, maybe, the training was all just from Princess Leia, so maybe it's, not, a mystery how she got this, I don't know if you would say powers or something, I don't know.
We'll talk more about that in the spoiler section, but yeah, Kayla is right. There's some stuff with Princess Leia, and she because in The Last Jedi, you see that she can use the Force.
Yeah.
And we'll talk more about that later. And I found the whole Princess Leia stuff. So here's another thing. Carrie Fisher is dead.
Yeah, she's dead. So
what they did is they took scenes from The Force Awakens, deleted scenes from The Force Awakens, and they put it in this movie. And, I mean, I know she's dead.
So there's literally, no other way. Yeah. And I was...
Do a better job.
I was kind of thinking, they could have just, said she died in, the very beginning. But then I was like, oh, but, that would have been such, a cheesy way to end her, life that fast. But, I don't know,
Oh, yeah. Me and Kayla... What was it? Was it... Because... No, that would get into spoiler territory. But anyway, the whole movie, she's there the whole movie. And you're like, well, you could have her, you could say, she was on a ship.
Somewhere else.
And
it didn't really have to show her face.
And she's dead. And that's her end. But her death was stupid as well. I'm not going to say what happens, but she does die. And
oh, yeah, she does die in the movie.
And it's stupid.
Yeah, well, at the same time, I, didn't understand it at all, how she actually died.
Yeah.
I don't know if I don't want to get into that, but yeah.
Well, anyway, I'm watching the movie, I'm just saying, this is a terrible movie. My younger sister, Emily, and then Kayla's younger sister, Alexa, they liked it.
I only think they liked it just because, they didn't...
Rey.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Rey's a great character. She's great.
She's an okay character.
Well, she's good enough for the fact that Luke is gone. I mean, obviously Luke Skywalker, best ever.
Yeah,
but then
he's the best.
Since he's gone now, and Princess Leia's gone, everyone's freaking gone at this point. I don't know. I think just Rey at the moment,
yeah.
I think she's good enough.
They the whole series with Rey is done.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Such a Rey can do this now, and she has this, and she can do this, and but it's over.
Yeah.
Oh, too bad. I'm yeah, I don't know. You could still do something. Disney, want to make some more money? Disney?
Yeah.
But anyway, any last thoughts on the non-spoilers, Kayla?
Let me think. Well, I don't know how not to spoil it. I don't know. I guess I don't know. I just felt like the movie, like it was a decent movie. Like I don't want to have beef with people that like think like, oh, it was such a good movie. Like I feel like many of those people either like haven't watched the past movies, or like they just like love Rey, and they just always like they're like, oh, Rey's the best, so like I have to like this movie. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it was a decent movie. They obviously could have done a lot better than they did. It was kind of like a, hey, let's make a movie and just make it really bad. So, you know, yeah. Those are my final thoughts on the non-spoilers.
So, my final thoughts are that the whole movie is basically, I'm watching it, I'm saying this is like the only thing that I can say it's better than a little bit better than The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
Little bit.
It was a bit better, and especially the Solo movie. I did not like that movie at all.
The Solo movie was terrible.
It was really
the Solo
bad.
movie still never
Really
made
bad.
its money back.
Yeah.
I'm just watching this, and I'm saying it's boring.
Mm.
It's not like there's nothing smart that they do. They make terrible decisions, and what else? It was boring and it was stupid, and what else? I was saying that.
Yeah.
It was annoying. I got annoyed.
Yeah. I mean, like, I guess it was worth seeing it because everyone was like, oh, it's so amazing. And there, of course, was the people that was saying it was horrible. I felt like it was best seeing it so you can actually have an opinion on it. So now we can actually make this video.
Yeah.
And whatever else, but yeah.
I also thought there was like and like on the people that watch it, there's either people that say, oh, it's really good and it's the best. And then there's people that are like, it was terrible. It's the worst Star Wars movie, which there's a lot of that. There's a lot of people.
Yeah,
I
mean,
see
I wouldn't
why
literally
they say that.
Yeah,
it's
I wouldn't.
Terrible,
yeah.
But I wouldn't say it's the worst. I mean, like.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I wouldn't say it's the worst
Attack of the
ever.
Clones.
It's definitely not the worst ever.
It's not the best, of course. It is.
It's not the best, but it's not the worst. I would say like I would put like the Solo movie more towards the worst.
Solo movie.
Yeah.
Attack of the Clones. Last Jedi.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I know like people will get angry, but Phantom Menace technically has the worst Star Wars. Like out of all the Star Wars movies, it has the worst rating.
Oh yeah.
3 Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh,
That's
and
classic.
wait.
I like that one.
Can I mention something?
Yeah.
Okay. So, this just has to do with like the Rotten Tomatoes. Every single time like Evan sees Rotten Tomatoes, he always like judges it because of that, and I always like I'm like, oh, it's like there's actually really good movies that have for some reason not as a good rating as you would think as they would.
Like what was it called? I like Phantom Menace. There, I like that one.
Yeah.
And it has 53 Rotten Tomatoes. There's another one that I like. Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom. I guess I didn't really like it, but like I don't hate it.
Yeah, it was okay.
It was
like,
That's another one that's
Yeah, and I was like thinking before we saw the movie, I was like, you know what? It does have this like rating, but it's like a Star Wars movie. It has to be. It has to be pretty good.
Gonna prove them all wrong, prove all the
But Evan was sort of right on this one. I mean, obviously he wanted to like the movie, you know.
I really did. I really wanted to come out there and be like, that was the perfect conclusion.
Yeah, like I felt like I needed to feel the same way. Like, you know, it's a Star Wars movie. It's the end of like I guess you would say, you know, the Luke Skywalker trilogy.
They didn't even have Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, like well he was in it for like I would say like 5, 6, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes.
Yeah, and that was it.
And that was it. And it, you know, of course, it was his little, you know, like whatever you would call it.
Story.
No, like not the story part. I mean, like.
So anyway, do you want to start getting into the spoiler territory?
Yes, this is the best part.
The best part. Okay, so I'm just gonna run through this movie pretty quickly because it's that boring. There's no plot.
There was
no
like so
plot.
much. I feel like there was so much like happening, and there was like so many parts that just didn't have anything in it. Like there's like only like certain parts that were actually like I guess important to the movie.
And there was so much exposition.
There were so many parts that were so not either needed or just like boring.
Yeah. So let me get into it. We start off the movie and it has the like I was reading like the little they start off with the little like the words and everything. I was reading. I was like, this is stupid. Like I don't like it. It's like they're saying stuff and it makes no sense. So you start off the movie and you see Kylo Ren, he's killing people. It's a kind of cool scene. I was watching. I was like, the choreography's but it looks cool.
Yeah.
And we get into the movie and like Kylo Ren is hunting Emperor Palpatine. He goes there. Emperor Palpatine, he like goes into this like he gets to like this planet and there's like this big upside down like pyramid. It's like a castle. And you go under it. He goes under it and he's looking around and there's like this he's looking around, there's like all these people that like are working there.
Yeah.
And you never know why, like what are they doing? But there's like this jar, like this like little glass container of Snoke, like it's Snoke clones. And you hear Emperor Palpatine's like, I was hearing your voice inside your head.
And of course, like at that moment, everyone's like, huh? How is Emperor Palpatine here?
Kylo Ren like finds him and like threatens to kill him or something.
No, but then
Emperor
like
Palpatine's like, I can give you this fleet of Star Destroyers.
Yeah, and then he was kind of like Emperor Palpatine was kind of giving Kylo Ren like a deal. I don't know if you would consider it a deal, but he was kind of like, I'll let like you'll have your own like I don't know what he said like.
It was a fleet of the Star Destroyers.
Yeah.
And then. And they don't really do it. Like there's like one scene where they do stuff, and then like the rest of the movie, the Star Destroyers do nothing.
Yeah.
And then he's like, you have to go kill Rey though. But we see Rey, and she's training.
Yeah.
And I guess it's a cool scene. It's an interesting scene. And Princess Leia's teaching her, which I thought was a little weird, considering that Princess Leia's not a Jedi. But actually later you find out that she was training to be a Jedi, and she's better than Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
She's a better Jedi than Luke Skywalker. The one, that defeated Darth Vader and had all these cool scenes. Was taught by Obi-Wan Kenobi, Yoda. Yeah. You know what? Leia is better than Luke. It's a little confusing, but she is.
Yeah. And that's why I was like, okay, like, you know how, like, Rey is, like, has all these things she can do. And that's why I was thinking, like, that's probably why Princess Leia has been training her, I guess.
Yeah. But, like, there's some things that Rey can do that I'm like, Princess Leia was teaching her that? So then we go to Poe and Finn, and they get, like, a message from this one guy that there's a spy. The spy gives them, like, this message. And so then they do this thing that's called, like, a light speed jump or whatever. And then they get back to their, like, home planet, or not their home planet, but their like home base, which is on this like forest planet that looks like Endor actually, but it's not Endor, it's a different planet. They go there and they play the message, and it turns out that like Emperor Palpatine's back, and he's gonna release like in 16 hours he's gonna release all these Star Destroyers, and they're all gonna kill everyone or something. I don't know, but it turns out he has like thousands and like millions of Star Destroyers. And that's another thing that confused me. How do you like make all these Star Destroyers? It's like I was like, you have to have materials to make Star Destroyers, Emperor Palpatine. Where'd you find them? But anyway, so Kylo Ren finds out about this, and he has like this. Actually, Kylo Ren has this group they call the Knights of Ren. I thought they were gonna have lightsabers and be like Sith, but they're not. They just have normal weapons. I was like. Yeah, like it would be cool if they had lightsabers. And they were hyping them up. They were hyping up the Knights of Ren ever since The Force Awakens. They were hyping them up. And then they don't use them. They're in there, and like there's a scene where like they like beat up Kylo Ren or whatever. But it's weird, and Anyway, so they go to this desert planet where Luke had because Luke was looking for this forbidden planet where the Sith locate, right, Kayla? Like, was it the Sith planet or something?
Something like that. Yeah.
Like, so they go there, and there's like this whole festival, and they find this dagger, and then like they go in, then they find the guy's ship, and they like end up like going into quicksand, and this whole scene, like there's no point to it. There's no point to this scene.
Wait, you mean like when they were like on the ship?
No, it's when they go through the quicksand.
Oh, yeah. And apparently it had to do something like with, what was his name? I don't remember his name. What was that other guy that was, like, stuck down there and died?
I don't know his name, but he was, like, he killed, like, Jedi or something.
Yeah, and he was stuck down there, and, I guess he was stuck down there, and then he became bones. And I'm assuming...
There's a snake or
yeah,
something.
there's a snake, so I feel... Once I saw the snake, I was kind of like, okay, did that kill him or something, you know? And then Rey obviously helps the snake with it, whatever was wrong with it. Some, like, I don't know,
She
cut.
can heal it or something.
Yeah, she heals it, and
Like
then...
the Force.
Then the snake moves away, and then there's this hole, and they can get out, and it's like, okay, why, it was, yeah, like, now I understand, like, why you were saying it was, like, so unneeded. They could have just not had that scene, and it would have made it a little bit more sense. Well, not more sense, but, like, it was, like, one of those scenes, it's just, like, okay, like, that was so random, I guess, you know?
So, anyway, Rey, like, senses Kylo Ren or something. And
Well, they kind of sense both of each other. Well,
yeah, but, like, Kylo Ren goes, like, out to, like, to the, so Rey goes out into, like, this big desert. Huh?
I think he went out to find her.
Yeah. So Rey goes out to this big desert, and Kylo Ren is, like, there, and it's, like, gonna, like, and he has, like, this, like, TIE fighter that he's flying at her. And then she, like, turns around and does a flip and, like, cuts off one of his wings.
Yeah, like, with her lightsaber.
One of the TIE fighter wings. And then the TIE fighter, like, blows up. I'm like, how could he survive that?
And he just walks out, like...
He just walks out, he's like,
oh, yeah.
I'm just like, nah, he would be dead. That thing blew up.
Yeah.
And anyway, the Knights of Ren, like, find Chewie, and they, like, put him, like, they, like, imprison him in, like, on this, like, one cargo ship.
Yeah.
And then it starts flying, and Finn's like, Rey, look, it's Chewbacca. Like, he's flying away. And then, like, she, like, tries to pull the thing back, and then Kylo Ren tries to push the thing away. And then at the same time, she shoots Force lightning out of her hands and blows up the ship. And oh no, she's killed Chewbacca.
And then, so she's all worried about, like, Chewbacca being, or, you know, Chewie being dead. And then, turns out, that was not that ship.
And I was, like, thinking, like...
It never showed two ships. One ship came and took Chewie, and then they left, obviously, somehow before this other ship got here, which would have made obviously no sense for the second ship to come. It's like, why is there a second ship if it's not needed?
Yeah, I was like...
Because obviously they didn't want to kill... Everyone was like, okay, of course, okay, now Chewie's gone, and then he's back, and it's like, okay, well, like, why?
Yeah, so, after that, C-3PO, like, read the dagger, and he says, like, oh, I can translate it. And so he translates it, he's like, oh, I know where it is. And they're like, well, where is it? And he says, well, I can't tell you because my program doesn't allow me.
Yeah, like, his program...
C-3PO, just tell us!
They're like, the program prohibits, like, this language. I don't know, and it's like, okay, like, why? Yeah.
I was like, just tell them. Just, why not? Why wasn't you programmed to use this language?
Yeah, like, why this one language? Like, what's the coincidence this one language he can't tell? Like...
I know, and so then they say, like, oh, we could do, like, this, like, program on him that, like, criminals do. So they go to this planet where, like, it's, like, this kind of, like, town, city, I don't know, it's, like population of a city, but it's not, like, a city, like, Cloud City or, Coruscant or something like that. But it's, like a town, city-ish thing. And they're looking around, there's, like, stormtroopers everywhere searching people's houses. And they say, like, how are we gonna get around these people? And this one girl, she's, like, in the weirdest suit. I thought the suit made her look so stupid.
I know, it looked very strange, like, the back of it, too.
Yeah.
But, like,
but anyway, she comes and she's like, oh, I'm gonna kill you. And we learn, like, Poe is a spice trader. And everyone freaks out about that. I was like, why? Like, Finn was a stormtrooper, and Rey was a smuggler. So, I mean, like, of course, spice trader. Oh, no! He's a spice trader.
Yeah.
Anyway, they actually end up helping him, and she brings him to this little guy, and I think his name was like Babu Frick.
Yeah, something like that. And then
It was like this little tiny I don't know what little.
I know
alien.
he was
like
just cute.
he's working on like C-3PO, and they end up saying like you have to mind wipe like C-3PO, get rid of his memory, so we can do this.
Yeah.
And so C-3PO's like, oh yeah, like sure, like I'll do it.
Well, he was kind of like, well, he wasn't skeptical
like, he was
about it,
like,
but he was just like
I don't know
unsure about it. And then he like stood up and just was like looking at them, and he was like, I'm just taking one last look. And I was like, what? That made me automatically think like that like he was gonna be killed off or something for some reason. Like I thought he was just gonna be dead, and that's what it like seemed like to me. But like that didn't happen. And then, well, like, I don't know if you want to explain the whole part of them getting his old memory back. It was the stupidest thing.
Yeah, it was. I thought it was stupid, but like, anyway, they like mind wipe him, and then like his eyes go glowing red.
Yeah.
And he like says like in this deep voice, like this deep, like evil voice. He goes like, "It's located here." Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And it was like, I was like, oh my gosh, C-3PO, you okay?
Yeah, you good,
But
bro?
anyway, it just turns out like I don't know what the problem was, but anyway, like he gets his mind wiped, and then like for like half or like more of the movie is like he's like, hi, I'm C-3PO, what's your name? And then like it's I never found like they were trying to be funny. I didn't think it was that funny.
Yeah.
What else? So after that, they go to like one of the Star Destroyers. And I think it was Kylo Ren's. And Kylo Ren's back down on the planet that they were at. And Rey's... to break out Chewbacca. And Chewbacca... So Poe and Finn go get Chewbacca. And then Rey goes to get... to go look for, like, the Wayfinder or something. And she finds Darth Vader's helmet and whatever. And then, like, she has one of those visions where, like, she and Kylo Ren see each other and they're, like, physically there, but they're at different places. Whatever, like, it physically, like, affects each other or something.
Mm-hmm.
And Kylo Ren, and I thought it was cool because they were fighting and then they'd be in a different location, and then back in the same locations. Yeah. There's a scene where they, like, cut a bag and all these, like, fruit or, like, berries fall out. And then it falls out, like, onto the floor where Rey is, where the berries aren't there. And then... Kylo Ren like breaks this thing, and then like Darth Vader's mask falls, and then like he knows where they are. He's like,
no,
oh,
I thought Rey hit it.
Oh yeah, like something like that. And then like it falls, and he's like, oh, so that's where you are.
Yeah.
So then they find. So then Poe, Finn, and Chewbacca are found, and they're gonna execute them. And then General Hux, which is that weird redhead guy that's like always angry, he says that he's gonna like. That he's going to like execute them himself, and then he shoots all the other stormtroopers and ends up being the spy that everyone talks about.
Yeah.
And he says like, and then he brings him to the ship, and they're like, why did you help us? He's like, I don't care if like you guys win. I want Kylo Ren to lose.
Yeah, and that was very weird. I was like, I mean, I understand like. He was a spy, but like, and then
so anyway, they get away, and then General Hux, like, he has like a gun wound in his leg because Finn shot him to like make it look like it was real or something. Mm-hmm. So he has this gun wound, and like this other general, so he's like, oh, they got away, they forced me to go to a ship, to get to their ship, and then this other general shoots him and says like, tell Kylo Ren we found the spy. I was like, how'd you know he was a spy?
Yeah, like how'd you know that was a spy? That was weird because he just was like, oh, tell Kylo Ren we found the spy. Like what if that wasn't the spy and you just killed off like the people?
Anyway, what happens after that? What happens? They go.
Aren't they like going onto the ship or something?
Yeah. So they go to. Don't they go to? Oh yeah. So they go to the Death Star, where like the Death Star wreckage was, and that confused me because the Death Star was completely broken.
Completely.
Last we saw, like
destroyed.
Anyway, they say like, oh, you can't go out because the Death Star's like in between this like ocean, and they say like you can't go out there or you'll like drown or something.
And
'cause
like
the
they have
waves
to
are
do it
super
like the
big.
next day, yeah.
And Rey goes out, and she like goes out by herself, and then Finn like follows her with this other girl who's an ex-stormtrooper like him. And that's something else. There's like, is she his love interest, or is it Rose, or is it
Yeah.
Rey? No, it's just all over the place. And so she goes out, and like this door opens, and she walks in, and then there's like this evil Rey there, and she says like don't be afraid of who you are. And then they get into a lightsaber fight, and she has Darth Maul's lightsaber, and I think it's like very interesting. I thought it was actually kind of cool. And then like they like get out of stand, like they're like holding each other, and like she said, and then like she like looks at her and like she has fangs or something, and like Rey like falls back, and then Kylo Ren's there, and it's not like a vision or something. Kylo Ren's actually there.
Yeah, that kind of confused me. I was like, okay, she's just seeing him, like how did he get there so fast without like even telling us like how or when
he destroys the Wayfinder. He's like, oh, you have to go there with me. So like he destroys the Wayfinder, and Rey goes like full dark side. Like I'm thinking like she's going to the dark side, and so he's like dodging her attacks because she's like gets out her lightsaber, starts trying to attack him. He's dodging her attacks, but he never like gets out his lightsaber until he notices that she's actually gonna kill him, and they're fighting on the Death Star, and actually it looks really cool. Finn's like, Rey, like he runs up to her, she's like, Rey, and like she like force pushes him, and he goes flying off, but he ends up being fine. Then like Kylo Ren like starts to like beat up Rey, like with the, well, not beat her up like physically, but like he's winning, and he starts to like attack Rey, and then Rey's on the ground, and then it turns out that Princess Leia like knew she was gonna die if she like did this, but she used her Force abilities to say Ben. That's all she did. She just like she was like, all my power, Ben. And then she dies. But anyway, Kylo Ren looks like he looks off, and he's like, what? And then Rey stabs him. And I'm like, whoa, Rey! Like he was just fine, right?
Yeah.
And like he wasn't gonna do anything. And so Kylo Ren like is on the ground, and he's like dying, I guess. And Rey's like, oh my gosh, I just stabbed you. So she like heals him with the Force, and then she like goes off in his ship to go to the her like what's it called?
I think
her like Luke Skywalker's place.
And she like sets the thing on fire.
Yeah, but anyway, going back to him, he sees Han Solo, his dad.
Yeah.
But he's not Force ghost; it's a memory ghost. And he says like I love you, and like and he says I know what I have to do, and then he throws his lightsaber away.
Right into the ocean.
Yeah, and then so then she's like burning stuff, and she like throws the lightsaber in, and then Luke Skywalker's Force ghost catches it, and then brings it back to her, and says, you like don't treat the Jedi weapon like this. And then they're talking, and he says that, and he's like inspiration stuff, and then he's gone. He's out for the rest of the movie until like the very very end, where they're like where he's looking at her, but he doesn't say anything.
Yeah.
Then what happens? He goes, and then she flies to the planet, right?
Yeah.
She goes and flies to the creepy Sith planet, and like all the rebels see like her tracking, and all the rebels go there, and then she goes in there, and like like the Emperor's there, and he's in there with like you see like in the road there's like in these it's like they're watching them, and he like sees like there's hundreds of thousands of Sith. There's like a ton of them, and I was like, what were they doing all this time? But there's like a billion of them, and it's creepy as ever. And the Emperor, like, he's blind, and he's like on this crane thing, and they're like suspending him, and he's like walking over, and he says, you have to kill me, so then you can be the Empress, and then you'll become a Sith, and the Sith will live on, Jedi will be dead. And you start to see that you start to see in the battles, and it's actually a really cool scene. They are on this Star Destroyer, and they start riding on horses, right? Right, Kayla?
Yeah.
and they're like battling and they're on horses, and it was on a Star Destroyer that's like flying. I thought it was very cool. But anyway, there's more of them, and the Resistance is like, they start to think like we're not gonna win, and Rey doesn't want to like kill the Emperor because she wants to kill him, but she's not going to.
Yeah.
She's gonna become a Sith.
Yeah.
She's gonna be like the queen of all these creepy people.
And well, like I was kind of like thinking she was gonna do it just because like everyone was making theories about her become like going onto the dark side. So I was like, oh, she's gonna do it.
I'm saying like, you know, it'd be really cool if they had this movie like Revenge of the Sith, and they had it where Rey becomes evil.
Yeah.
And Luke Skywalker has to come back to the dead, and they fight out, and it's, you know, playing bum ba-dum bum 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 bum, and that would have been the coolest thing. But they didn't do it. They had this movie instead. Anyway, Kylo Ren, now he goes by like Ben Solo, like his normal name. He's running and he has like a gun, and then because he's trying to find Rey and like help her, he's running, has a gun, and then like the Knights of Ren find him and they start beating him up, and then they have like another like vision where they see each other, and Rey puts her lightsaber like behind her, and Kylo Ren like catches it, and then he has the lightsaber, and then she has her own lightsaber, and I thought that was confusing. But he beats up the Knights of Ren, and then they get together. They're looking at the Emperor, and the Emperor's like, oh, whatever, I don't need it Rey to be the Empress. And she like, he like takes their like little like connection thing, like he takes their powers, and then he heals himself, and I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
He heals himself, and then Kylo Ren gets up. Rey's still like unconscious. Kylo Ren gets up, and he's like, oh, yeet, and he just like, he force pushes him, and he goes flying away. They're going, so Rey gets up, and the Emperor shows her that like he's gonna zap everyone. And also before this, like everyone comes to fight the Empire, like literally just everyone, with Lando Calrissian and everyone. So the Emperor, he shoots lightning up into the air, and it like covers the sky, and he's like shocking everyone, and like they can't fight it, of course. So Rey's like, so then he like he looks at Rey. Rey gets up with the lightsaber. He's like, I'm all the Sith, and she's like, well, I'm all the Jedi. And you actually hear Anakin's voice, Mace Windu, all the Jedi, Yoda, Luke Skywalker. You hear all of them. She gets up and she gets both lightsabers, and she's like, she's crossed them, and he's hitting her with lightning, and then like the lightning deflects and like melts him. And me and Kayla looked at each other and we started laughing how stupid.
Yeah, that was really funny.
And anyway, so now she's like dead, and Kylo Ren crawls over and like heals her, and then she wakes up, like he's like, and they kiss.
Yeah, and then they like smiled, and then
he dies.
Then he just dies, and then he just is like, it disappears. And then at the moment I looked at Evan, and I was like, Thanos.
Yeah, we were laughing. It was so stupid. And then you see Carrie Fisher, Leia. You see her die, and then there's like this orange alien that's like, and I thought it was like the most weird thing.
Yeah.
So anyway, then after that, like everything's saved. All the Star Destroyers blow up. And then Rey goes to, so they're all happy, it's happily ever after. Rey goes to Tatooine, and this is why I got annoyed. So Rey buries their lightsabers.
Yeah.
And then she turns on this, and I thought the switch to turn on hers, it wasn't a button, but like she would spin this thing. And she turned on her lightsaber, it's this yellow lightsaber, and that confused me, which means she's a Sentinel, which means she's a Jedi Temple Guardian. If you don't know anything about the comics, that means that she, instead of lightsaber and force using, you see this the whole movie, it means that she focuses on technology and guarding the other Jedi.
So
when she's
what
the only
could that
Jedi.
mean?
I know. So you think that they'd go on with this, but then like this little old woman's like, there hasn't been anyone here. So like, who are you? And she says, I'm Rey Skywalker. And you see like Luke and Leia off in the distance smiling. And this, I hate it. Because if she said, well, I'm Rey Palpatine, and then that means like she's better than she used to be.
Yeah.
I would have liked that. Like she's better than all the other Palpatines. But no, she goes with Rey Skywalker, and this is what annoyed me.
No, but it made absolutely no sense because she is a Palpatine, but she's still.
And she's not a Skywalker.
Yeah, and then you just see like Princess Leia and Luke Skywalker like looking at her, and then she's like Rey Skywalker, and like it's like what? Like I totally expected her to say Palpatine.
Yeah, but I really hated it. I really hated it because
it kind of made like the ending like kind of dumb because
yeah, the whole movie's kind of dumb.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the whole movie basically. I think the ratings were correct.
Yes,
and
definitely.
let me go over. It was boring. It was stupid. They made poor decisions.
But I can just say it was decent. It was like obviously it was not
There's some decent parts.
Yeah, there were
But the movie,
decent
in my
parts,
opinion,
but it was definitely like they were just like, okay, we gotta throw something together and then just get it out there. You know?
Yeah. So in the end, that's pretty much it, guys. Hope you enjoyed. It's gonna take a while to
Hope you
edit this.
enjoyed.
So anyway, bye guys.